So, real life story that happened to me yesterday, 2018. Around 1:30ish, I could hear the sounds of water running. And the last time that happened, I had a pipe burst in my basement in the sewage line. So obviously that was not what I was hoping was occurring, but expecting that to be. So I go in the basement and I'm looking and I don't see anything. So I come back and I'm thinking maybe it's just the heating because it's been cold. So the water in the pipes for the heater is probably just running extra high. So I kind of ignored it and, didn't really think much of it. Did my things I was doing yesterday, and so like 4 hours later, I was getting ready to go out. We were going to a friend's house for the Super Bowl, and when I went upstairs to change, the bathroom upstairs came to mind as where potentially the water sound was coming from because sometimes that toilet doesn't flush appropriately, or it will run if it's not flushed appropriately. So I go in there and I look and nothing's wrong. And I'm just like, okay. But yet when I went in there, I could hear the sound of running water stronger. And I thought, okay, this is so weird. I really don't understand what's going on. So I thought to myself, I'm just going to get dressed, and then I'm going to go check the basement again because maybe the pipe leak wasn't strong enough. And now that it is, and maybe I would see where the water might be coming out of. And now, by this point, I had the prior owner, Mr. Nicoletti, here. He tends to show up when something is wrong with the house and I'm not fixing it fast enough or I haven't found it. And so he's kind of like following me around and he keeps saying in the basement, in the basement. So I go back to the basement while I'm waiting for my ride. And again, I don't see anything. And so I was just going to be like, I really have no clue what's going on. And then it was raining outside. So I thought, well, maybe it's just something with the rain outside. Like, the logical part of Bonnie is trying to figure out, okay, if I can't find it, then it's got to be nothing. Um, and as I turned to walk back up the stairs, I heard Mr. Nicoletti say, go check the sump pump. And I was like, oh, well, that's a good point. If it happens to be draining in the sump pump and the pump is working its way, through the water leak, then I'm not going to see water on my floor, which is great. So I walk to the sump pump and I don't see anything in there. But I hear it a little louder in that area. So I touched some of the pipes that were there. And one of the pipes that leads to the outside bathroom is running. Like the water is just running through that pipe. And I know I shut off that pipe. I shut it off last year, last July of 2017, because I had a pipe burst out there. And I didn't have the energy after Morgan died to fix it. So I thought, you know what, I'm not using that bathroom outside. I'm not having parties or anything like that. So there's no reason to have it on. So I just turned it off. And it's been off ever since then. So I turn the valve, turn it off. It is on full open, this valve. I turn it off. And I'm like, what the hell happened? How can this go on? And immediately I felt this negative energy. But the still rational person in me, the human in me, reaches out to my brother and I asked him, is it possible that a shut-off twisty valve can be turned completely open on its own? And he had asked if when I turned the valve to turn it off, did it turn off? And I was like, yes. And he said, then absolutely not. He said, the only way that would happen is if it broke inside and then you wouldn't be able to shut off the valve. He's like, that had to been turned on. And I was like, so there's no way a little bit of pressure could have, started to open it. And then the more pressure hit it, the more it opens until it's fully on. And he's like, nope. He's like, doesn't work that way. So this negative entity turned on my water valve so that way I have damage out in my bathroom outside. So I got to deal with that when the spring comes. Whatever damage it ended up being out there. Now, granted, it's outside, so there's not much to damage out there, but there's drywall, so I'm going to have to worry about mold and all that other stuff because it was running for 4 hours. So real life of the medium, at least I'm able to figure it out. But in the end, these kind of things do happen. So, sometimes the entities, especially, and it would only be negative that would do this, will cause problems for us, not only financial problems, but also break things. And it's very frustrating. And I think this negative entity came in from a client on Friday. So I thought I dealt with them. But I do remember that when I was working through the the space when I felt like it was off, that I did struggle in the basement. So I think it was just kind of hiding in there and doing his thing. But yeah, so yay, spirits that want to cause us problems. It drives me insane. But at the same time, they come in when we're vulnerable. So, and we're vulnerable because we're denying our emotions and trying not to feel what we need to feel. So, feeling is healing. I'll say that a lot, and I know that personally. Feeling is healing. So, yeah, 4 hours of running water. Yay! It's gonna be awesome outside. I did check this morning, and there's still water on a little bit on the floor. But it definitely is gonna cause some rust issues for some of the equipment and stuff that I have out there, like the patio table is metal, so and it's on its side, so that's gonna probably be ruined. But I'll get through it. Just keep moving forward because that's all we got. That's all we have to do. But anyway, thought you'd like to hear my water story that just happened yesterday.